hmm Article number 4, Section 1, the full faith and credit
Yes.
mhm, shall be given to each state to the public acts,
Yeah.
records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress may, by general laws, prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved,
Yes.
mhm, the effect thereof. Now, I might have $1 million worth of liability, mhm, but each state has the liability of collecting all that money.
Yes.
Mhm. And after 6 months of not paying child support, it becomes the property of the Treasury.
Yes.
And then they can take tax refunds.
Yes, they can.
They can garnish any and all income that I would receive that is garnishable.
Yes, they can.
Mhm. So that $100 billion that well, see, now you involved all the employees of every state in the United States federal government.
Yeah.
The same employees that don't seem to understand the employment contract. Mhm. See, any money that I receive that is garnishable,
Yes.
mhm, tax refund,
Yes.
maybe some lottery winnings,
Yeah.
possibly inheritances,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
mhm, anything can be garnished when it's a child support order. Now, I'm thinking that you changed the petition for dissolution of marriage
Yes.
after I had responded to it.
Mhm.
And this little unconscionable
Yes.
that sounded nice in the 1960s.
Yes.
hmm It had to do with the purchase of some furniture.
Yes.
But I noticed in what I was reading yesterday that it's often included in what's known as contract law.
Mhm.
See, the individuals that go to law school,
Yes.
they are taught
Mhm.
that if there's a violating of the contractual obligation of either the retailer or the consumer, the USCC code,
Yeah.
the Uniform Consumer Credit Code,
Mhm.
that there's a lawsuit.
Mhm.
But when you issue any order for support
Yes.
having to do with custody,
Yes.
it has the full faith and credit of the United States Constitution. It's a little different than an installment for a loan from a corporation.
Yeah.
I could bankrupt myself for those.
Yes.
I wouldn't go to jail. I could buy a house and go through foreclosure.
Yes.
You could try to get me in jail for not paying my non-recourse home equity line of credit.
Pooch.
But this contractual obligation of child support,
Yes.
it's an imprisonable offense.
Pouch.
Now, for the idiots
Yes.
that think that, well, it doesn't have any applicability.
Yes. It.
Mhm. It really does. It's kind of like when you agree to be employed in law enforcement,
Yes.
you have a contractual obligation for the enforcement of the law.
Yes.
hmm And when you refuse to do that, you violated your employment contract.
Yeah.
Now, for the 1.2 million of you in law enforcement that have arresting authority,
Yes.
I can have you.
Put present.
Now, it's bad enough that you used forgeries of Heidi Lee Budner,
Yeah.
that you used forgeries of officers of the court,
Yes, you did.
that you didn't protect my right to due process so that I would get notice of court hearings, that you intentionally sent court notices to the wrong addresses. You actually issued a court order that has the full faith and credit of the United States Constitution.
Yes.
That means the arresting authority in every city of the United States.
Yes.
That's the arresting authority of every county of every state of the United States. That means that court